Welcome to another episode of Systematic Geekology. This is a space where we seek to create and cultivate healthy conversations between those things we geek out on and the philosophical and theological questions that often arise out of our fandoms. Like, what does it mean to be human? What makes a hero? What makes a villain? How do the stories and narratives we geek out on shape how we live in the world? We are your priest to the geeks. We aren't all ordained, but we see ourselves as mediators at the intersection of geek culture and going deeper in our faith. We don't always have to agree, but we do respect each other, and we see everyone as a beloved child of God. Everyone geeks out on something, so come geek out with us and enjoy the show.
You're listening to an Anazao Ministries podcast.
Have you ever wondered who your father could be? The possible realms. Not talking about a spiritual father, or are we? We are going to be discussing Blue Exorcist today. This is actually our last episode of our Religions in Fandom series, talking about the religious aspects of Blue Exorcist. If you enjoyed this, make sure you go back and look at other stuff. And next year, our series will be Polarization, which is finding the good in stuff we do not like. So I am Elizabeth Clyde. This is Systematic Geekology, and joining me on this last episode in our Religion and Fandom episode is TJ. Hi, TJ. How are you going? How are you doing?
Good. I'm going
how
great.
are you going? Where are you going? How are you doing? It's been a day.
Good.
Good.
I'm going good.
You're going good. I'm so happy you're going good.
Yeah.
Yes. I am doing fast too. So fast I almost forgot to do a cake today, but we got it done and we're here. So I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about Blue Exorcist with you today. But before we get into that, tell me, what are you geeking out on?
Oh, I don't want to say it out loud.
It's not Valorant?
Fortnite?
Really? You're going old school Fortnite?
Yeah. Yep. It had been about 7 years since I played, and I was just kind of bored the other day. Then I downloaded it, got back into it. So that's where I'm at. Have you
built it up? I mean, did you start over, or did you just kind of go from?
Oh yeah, I had to start over.
Gotcha.
Because I'm like, well, that was on PlayStation. This was on PC. I don't know how to link the account. So it's fun though. Fortnite gets a lot of hate, and I do think rightfully so. But I've been having a lot of fun.
All right. That's all that matters. I watched this random, small 12 episode anime. I guess I geeked out on it. This is just the most recent thing I've watched is I'm quitting heroing. So pretty much it's just a dude who decided, I don't want to be the hero anymore. And honestly, mood. Some days it'd be like that.
I almost watched that today, actually.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't bad. I liked it in the background. It didn't captivate my attention. Where I'm like, this is the best thing. This is the new thing. But it was a good watch.
Yeah. That's 12 episode series are either that or the greatest piece of fiction in the world.
I agree. I agree. But no, I enjoyed it. Definitely the last 2 episodes, I actually stopped do what I was doing and I had to sit down and watch it. So that's always nice that it didn't end on a bad note. So that is what we are geeking out on. Thank you for all of our supporters on Apple Podcast, Captivate, or Patreon. I want to give a specific shout out to Justin Vaughn. We actually went to high school together, so shout out Justin. We love you.
Hi, Justin. I hope you're listening.
He's a great dude. I don't think he Justin is, but he supports us because he just loves us. So if you love us and want to support us, make sure you do that. Help us keep the lights on. And now we are going to the actual episode after all that housekeeping. So Blue Exorcist, I was excited that I got put on this episode because I actually randomly watched it the other month. So it's kind of fresh in my head. Only the anime, not the manga. Never read the manga. So I'm excited to talk shop with you because you watched the anime and read the manga.
Yeah. So I watched the anime while it was releasing. So 10 years ago. or something. And then actually, like this year, I just got into the manga and I read the manga, and now I'm like keeping up to date with it.
Oh, so it's still, the manga is still being mangaing.
Yeah, it's still going and it's fantastic.
What
it's
is
really,
up with my
really good.
language today? Mangaing. We're doing great.
Yeah, it really is phenomenal though. Like it's so much better than the anime made me think it was.
Okay, well, I'm ready for the spoilers. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the background of Blue Exorcist. So it's pretty much, as I said at the beginning, like maybe you wonder who your father may be if you don't have that like physical father. But I don't think anyone's going to think that they are the spawn of Satan, which is the whole premise of the show. So two twin boys. I knew the name until I just thought of it. Ren and what's the other twin's name?
You made me forget.
Oh my gosh. Wait,
I was just thinking about
I literally had an episode list, a character, because I always do this. So Ren and his twin brother, Yukio. I knew that. Yukio. Wow. Doing great. So Ren and his twin brother Yukio, they are orphans and they get adopted by a priest. This is the beginning, so this is all we know. They get adopted by a priest and they are raised in a, not like a monastery, but pretty much, what is it called? Because it wasn't
they're raised in a shrine.
Yeah, just like a church with the priest and his priest dudes. And so they are twins. One's a nerdy, more subtle, academically gifted twin. The other one is kind of like rough and I wouldn't even say tough. He's just rough around the edges, doesn't get along well, doesn't know how to process emotions. And we find out early on that one of them is the spawn of Satan. So can you give us a little recap what you remember at the beginning of this anime?
No, I can only tell you what I know now.
No, that's perfect. I just didn't want to like keep on talking. So pretty much, it's episode 1. Ren decided he's not going to go into high school. He's just going to get a job and he thinks he's useless. And pretty much something happened with his encounter where he awakened his demonic power or his spiritual power. And so now he's starting to see demons all the time and he's freaking out. And eventually he goes back to his house, which is the church, and he is attacked by demons. He gets protected. He's had no idea demons existed until now, and pretty much finds out right then and there he is the spawn of Satan. And he's so mad for his his father, who is the priest, lying to him. He pretty much broke his heart by saying, "You're not my father. Like, who are you? You're a liar." And the priest, I think this is either episode 1 or 2, the priest gets heartbroken and possessed by Satan to try and get Ren. And so the priest kills himself. And now Ren is an orphan. So like, I mean, a very happy-go-lucky anime. If you haven't seen it, that's not even ruining it for you because that's literally episode 1 or 2.
Yeah. They are.
They literally just took us there.
It's really fun. I think that's what helped me get into it. You know, as a 14-year-old, you watch episode 1 and it's like, oh, cool.
Here we are.
Yeah, I'll stick around.
Emotionally damaged right then and there. And so Ren has a cell phone that his father gave him before he I don't want to say offed himself, but I mean, that's what happened. He had to sacrifice himself so Satan couldn't get to Ren since his body was possessed. And Ren called the number and it happened to be the head. His name was Mephisto. I don't know why I remembered that name. And he's the head of Blue Cross Academy, True Cross. You're right. My bad. True Cross Academy, where he is going to be able to train to be an exorcist like his father. So he thought his father was just like a priest and was kind of like a phony, getting rid of ghosts and stuff or demons. Like I said, he didn't really acknowledge they existed. And now he is going to be going to True Cross Academy, which his brother got accepted into that high school, but at night it's an exorcist school. And so now he finds out that his brother actually could see demons all along because Ren awakened Yukio's spiritual power. And Ren's already a full-on exorcist and is a teacher and doing the most. So now this whole premise is Yukio is the teacher doing the most, and now Ren is trying to once again play catch up to his brother. So you go. It's
really funny, combination of a lot of Japanese tropes, because I feel like it used to be everywhere. There'd just be series funny Exorcist. You guys all know Exorcists and mediums in your regular life in Japan that don't do anything. Just kidding. Demons are real. Ghosts are real. They're killing them all the time. I feel like there's a ton of those series. And This is that combined with like the prodigal son and like trying to live up to your brother. Because Ren spends his whole childhood like as the rambunctious one. He thinks he's the strong one. He's just trying to be as good as Yukio at anything. And then he gets to become an exorcist, awakens his devil powers, and he's excited. It's like he could finally do something Ren can't, or Yukio can't. And then he gets to exorcist school, and his twin brother, same age, fully fledged exorcist, is a teacher at the exorcism cram school. Like, yeah, you're still way far behind, Ren. Sorry.
Yes, and I like the fact that he did feel jealousy over his brother, but like he that motivated him instead of just being war with me, I'll never catch up, and turn to hatred, because a lot of times if we feel jealous or incompetent, we just go to bitterness. So that was always nice that I just like their brother. I felt like it was more real, their brother dynamic. And I like the fact that he actually did freak out about the demons, because even though this is obviously a fictional anime, like if you and I experienced demons for the first time today, I don't think anyone would have an okay reaction.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it's like, oh, I'm this, and then boom, they're bad booty at it, and they can just go ahead and exorcise demons. So I like the gradual progression that we see Ren do.
It is nice. Like, the series is a lot longer than most people think, because most people just watch the anime. The anime covers the first 3 or 4 arcs of the manga, and the manga is ongoing to this day. It has been in production since 2009. It's about to end, like it's really close, but it's not over yet.
And I might want to read the manga, because one thing I didn't appreciate I felt like the first tier of the anime was super rushed. And then they released these sagas, and I was excited. I'm like, more Exorcist, but it was almost like side stories that happened. So it wasn't really a sequel to where we left off. It was just kind of like, oh, now I'm getting this person's background if you go to the Kyoto arc or the Illuminati saga or whatnot. But with this anime, as they're going through True Cross Academy and as they're learning to be exorcists, I mean, exorcist in itself we understand to be a religious what is that like based off in, like, I know like a lot of Catholic priests, and I mean we've seen it in like the Pharisees like casting out demons, so it's not an unknown term to most people. They've heard of exorcists, whether they've seen those movies or are familiar with religion. But I was so appreciative, like whenever they quoted the Bible, like it was like legit thing. At one point he was like, well, this is this type of demon, so we know we can combat them with the book of John. And Home Dude just started quoting John like word for word scripture. So I feel like they didn't mock Christianity or the aspects that they took, because they took other themes of religion into this anime, but they didn't mock Christianity that I can't think, like a lot of the times, like they'll have the nuns with the big boobs and like, not doing nun-like things, but like everyone seemed like pretty, like on all aspects, respectful of the religion. Yeah.
Cause like it's real. Mm-hmm. Like us, we believe it's real. To them, they have to fight demons. Like they can't deny that it's real. They have to actually physically kill demons. So it's always way funnier when there's an atheist in these shows. There is sort of one in Blue Exorcist, but not really.
Which character was sort of the atheist?
I don't even remember. He was like not a major character at all. But it was a kid in True Cross Academy. I don't believe the demons are real anyway.
Oh, like he was in the regular high school part of it?
No, he was in the Exorcist part. It was like, it was like a background character, but
I see. I don't remember.
Super funny. Let's talk about it. So the Blue Exorcist is mostly Christian. Like a lot of Japanese things that do focus on religion or have elements of religion, they'll have like Shintoism, which is super easy to include. This one really doesn't. It is just Abrahamic demons, pretty much. And then, the power of the Bible is what they use to exorcise them, unless you're Reno Kumara. And then you use Satan's powers.
Yeah, you get a cool sword.
Yeah, you get a cool sword to contain the power, and you grow a tail and stuff. Not everyone gets to be Reno Kumara, though. So everyone else, they learn different pericopes of scripture and fight that way. And that scene you're talking about, I love. I was reading it, riding to Virginia, just in the car, and I was like, oh, he's going in. Oh, yeah, he's going in. He just reads like the entire book of John.
Yes,
because
he's like, I have it memorized. No big deal.
Yeah, like each spell has a passage attached to it, but just a verse or two to activate the spell. He could remember that it was in John, but he could not remember which verse it was, so he just read all of John.
And it was the last verse too. I would have just started with the last one.
Yeah, but they do treat it with a whole lot of respect. Even so there's two realms in Blue Exorcist. We've the overworld, us, Ashina, and then Gehenna is what they call the other dimension, hell. Which I don't know. I just like Gehenna a lot. It's not a phrase that gets used a whole lot. It's used twice in the Bible, 3 times it's used a couple times in the Bible. But I just like hearing Gehenna more than hell. It's more interesting. It's a cooler word. It's that simple. There are deeper theological thoughts on the phrase Gehenna and why it is used in a couple of cases and not all. I'm not smart enough to talk about those.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
But they also used it. So either there was scripture to combat the demons. They could use holy waters. I like that they created holy water bombs. That was quite fun. And then you could do what's it called, familiars. So that's something that they took. Yeah. That's not Christian. Which is that Shinto, or which religion uses familiars? I can't remember.
Familiars, as far as I'm aware, that's just witchcraft.
That's just what. Oh, all right. So they did have familiars. So we have I think it was Izumo who has the fox, and then Shiemi has the little plant dudes.
Yeah.
Thing. So you see some familiars, and I think that was the main 3.
Yeah.
Right.
They yeah.
Oh, the chant. There's some they did chanting too, but outside of scriptures. There was some chanting, but that was like the main combat, and then of course Ren's sword. And then with these, we learn that there's different levels of exorcists. So pretty much they become ex-wires, which is like the very basics of the basics. Almost if you are doing like the provisional hero's license, if you will, is the ex-wires. And so they all pass with that. And Ren is just so excited, even though he is the bottom of the food chain. He's just excited to be improving. And so I just love that he tags along with Yukio's missions, and he just wants to be a part of life. Yeah. And he's so happy-go-lucky, even after he learned he was the son of Satan. His whole goal now is to get revenge on Satan for killing his dad.
Yep.
Hey guys, Christian here to talk about our Captivate options. That's when you send us a little extra money to just help us along with our project. But what do you get by giving us that extra money? Well, you have access to any future online D&D campaigns. You get extra bonus question content, which we do at least 48 times a month. You can make a one-time donation here of any amount to help support the show. This helps us with our overhead. That includes the editing software that we use, the recording software that we use, the marketing that we have to do for the show, the equipment that we all need to use to help out with the show, and more. So thank you for what you do. Head out to Captivate. Help us out. We really appreciate what you do. See you later.
And that's another thing we don't find out until way later. Their adoptive father was like the guy.
Number one.
He was the guy. He was a fantastic exorcist.
I think he was called the Paladin, which is like the number
he was
one
the Paladin
exorcist. And so they just find out how great he keeps on discovering different sides of his dad that he never knew. And so he actually gets a little like jealous of Yukio because Yukio knew the exorcist part of the dad and had that bond with him. And Ren was just like a kid that didn't understand why he was different. And so he just remembers all the discipline, side of the dad. But it's really It's really sad whenever they do the flashbacks and he and you can't take back what he said, like they had a great relationship and he was like, "You're not my father, I hate you," and pretty much broke his dad's heart, and he has to live with that the rest of his life, which, I mean, we've all said things we've regretted.
Yeah, but like, man, that is really rough for him, and then he has to reconcile that, and like, the series is really, really good.
It has so much depth because you see him getting close to his classmates. So now he has true friendships for the very first time. And now as he has these true friends, he's keeping the secret that he is the son of Satan. And so I don't understand how he kept the secret as long as he did, because he should have been caught so much sooner. But whenever he did get caught, then he had to now maneuver the relationships of his friends being scared of him and mad that he pretty much lied to them, because they're like, "You're the son of Satan, like you're the enemy." And so they have to go through that dynamic as well as they proceed with their relationships.
Yeah. All right. It's just, it doesn't really get like, it's not a lot deeper than that as far as like religious context goes. Pretty much the whole thing is like, imagine if the Catholic Church just had an exorcism like core, like Vatican City is secretly just training exorcists, like the movie Priest or something, which is pretty good. Priest is also based off of a Korean comic series. I don't remember what the Korean ones are called, manhwa, but spelled different. That's really good. I read that too, but that's not what we're talking about. So they do show a little bit of like what Buddhism is like in this world, and it's like they can still like fight demons and stuff, but they're not like, like achieving nirvana is not part of it. Like they're just kind of there.
Yeah, and you see the order of do they call it the order? I can't remember what they call it, but it kind of similar to like the Vatican, as you mentioned, but you see the politics of the Exorcist organization and how they have to like do the red tape. And that I just found out right before the show, the Kyoto like side story that I view as a side story since it came out after the original season is actually canon. And so you learn more about how, what TJ was saying, like almost like a monastery with monks got to become a part of the Exorcist organization and how they expand influences.
Yeah, and they just kind of like work with the True Cross Order. It doesn't get a lot. Like there are kids who grow up there that like become exorcists. So it's kind of cool.
Because 3 of the students are from the monastery, so they left the monastery to go to True Cross Academy. And then the Illuminati side story, is that canon? Do you remember that in the manga?
It's canon, and they're like present still.
Okay, so we're still in the Illuminati.
Yeah, well, like they were still around, like those characters.
But does the Illuminati exist today? I'm just kidding. That's another episode. Remember when that was a big thing a few years ago?
Always.
Forever. But it was like super big a few years ago, but that's a different episode. But it was kind of fun whenever they brought up the Illuminati. I'm like, ah!
Yeah, so the Illuminati actually becomes like the main antagonistic force like halfway through the series, and remain the main antagonistic force.
So what's happening, because I'm okay with spoilers, what's happening in the manga right now? Like, so we knew, so with how the anime goes, and once again, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, spoilers, we pretty much, Ren goes through the whole ordeal, and Yukio meets his grandfather, and so they never knew their mother, but then they find the grandfather of the mom, and we find out that this is like really speed going through, but for the sake of time, we find out that the mom befriended Satan, pretty much, and Satan was in the form of like a fox or a wolf, and then Satan pretty much coincided with her body. They became friends and loved each other, and so he left her with a child. She got like exiled, and pretty much the grandfather kind of poisoned Yukio, saying like, we need to do this to save Ren, we need to do this, we need to do that. And it pretty much ended with Yukio on altar the sacrifice. They were trying to sacrifice Ren, and then Yukio was trying to sacrifice himself to save Ren. And this one is a little hazy, but pretty much they beat the guy that was trying to, I think they were trying to like open up hell or something so they can like destroy it. But the grandfather wasn't all that good. So how did that happen in the manga yet? I guess it had to have if the anime.
Yeah.
So where does that go from the Illuminati? Does it go from like them, because now we know that Yukio actually has some satanic powers too. So does Yukio have satanic powers at the moment in the manga? So tell me about that.
He sure does. So pretty much right after that, Yukio defected from the Knights of the True Cross, or the True Cross Order. So he actually does work for the Illuminati for a long time. And then just recently, he actually switched back. So now he's good guy again. But Yukio was like an actual threat to the True Cross Order for a long time. Yeah,
because he had like a whole identity crisis.
Yeah. So that happened a lot. And then he kind of tried to play both sides, but it didn't really work. Ren has like nearly unlocked like the full potential of his power. They are currently storming into like Satan's castle to kill Satan because the Illuminati succeeded, and they're like merging Ashna and Gehenna. And like civilians are just learning about demons now. They just kind of have to be like, yeah, no, demons are real. We've been fighting them for a couple thousand years. Satan, super real. The worlds are combining. Get somewhere safe. Good luck. But we're in like probably the middle of the siege of like Satan's castle, and we have all of our like built up main crew. Well, it's like, Paladin and all of like the higher ranked Exorcists that are all really cool. Shiemi is now like, they put her in like a hyperbolic time chamber, and she came out as like a grown adult. And I don't remember the like position that she took over. Like, I don't remember its title.
So she's an adult, and Ren and Yukio are the same age?
Yeah, well, it's been a couple years.
Oh, okay.
Like in the manga, it's been like 2 years.
See.
So like they were already 16. Shiemi was just younger.
I see. Is Ren and Shiemi any romance between those two?
Yeah, they are.
For real?
Wow. Yeah, a little bit.
Ren good.
But,
Ren gets the girl?
Yeah.
Is Yukio jealous?
Well, they might all die still.
Oh. But at the moment, like, what? Okay,
yeah, at the moment, they might all die still.
But no, okay, tell me a little, what happened romantically between the two?
No, I think you're going to have to read it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I might just Google it.
But it really like escalated a lot from what it was just like fighting demon outbreaks and like, oh, evil guy on a mountain.
And then they fight each other.
Yeah, they fight each other, and then they like reconcile, and it's a whole big thing.
So with the manga, so obviously they use scripture and stuff to fight demons and whatnot. But they ever do like reverence to God, or they just kind of like use it to fight? You know what I mean?
Well, like, does that make sense? Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious if like, because some people, they obviously they believe in God and they use his scriptures to fight, but like in the anime, granted, was seeing one dimension of like the Exorcist, you don't really see them like praying or like almost like the loving father of God that we know as Christianity, like we kind of emphasize today.
Yeah. They're like fighting like the demon princes of hell right now.
I mean, yeah, they're a little busy.
Yeah. So like,
but Jesus loves them.
They've definitely prayed. See, they don't mention Jesus though.
Yep.
Like ever. Mm-hmm. Except when he read John.
What was it? Yeah.
But
I mean, obviously, like they believe he exists if they're quoting the New Testament.
Yeah, but they just don't talk about him. Mm-hmm. It's just weird.
All right.
So like it's sort of Christian. It's like missing just one major facet. No one ever talks about Jesus.
Died for our sins.
Yeah. They never bring that up.
But and that's why like it's hard because I'm like, well, this is Christian, but then Buddha, but then like it's really cool because I can't think of any anime that actually like that has given biblical scriptures.
Yeah, they definitely commit to the concept way harder than like all the other series that have done this.
Yeah, because usually it's just like cross and holy water and God and nothing. Like that's the only Christian symbols.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm still thinking we're going to like meet God eventually. Has to, right?
I mean, I meet God every day in my prayer time.
Yeah, but not in Blue Exorcist.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm waiting for.
Let's see. So
a new chapter actually came out like yesterday. I haven't gotten to read it yet because it's a monthly series. Went on hiatus in July and didn't have another chapter until November.
So how many chapters are there total? Like, what was the number chapter
It's
that
not
came out?
even. It's not even a lot. It's like 154. It's been monthly the whole time.
Yeah, I was like, you can catch up in like 2 days.
Yeah, I did.
It's like that is what I hate
That's what I
monthly
did.
releases though.
It's awful.
It's
If I
like
had
you
known,
read it in less than 5 minutes and then it's ugh.
if I had known it wasn't finished, I would not have started it. If I knew it was monthly,
Yeah,
I
that's
just like
dumb.
assumed it was weekly and started reading.
So who's your favorite character in all of this?
Lewin Light,
Which one's that one?
super sick. I don't even remember if he's in the anime. He's just awesome. He's so sick. He's just like super strong exorcist. Like he's not the paladin. He's like right under the paladin.
The one with the
He wears like the
long
bucket
hair?
hat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He is there like in the council and stuff like that, but he hasn't gotten a lot of
Yeah. No, he's so
showtime.
sick. I love
Why
him.
is he your favorite?
He has like lightning powers.
Oh, fair enough.
Done. I'm there. He's like really good at communing with spirits, and then he like talks to spirits and stuff. It's like he does have multiple familiars. He's awesome.
Let's see.
He's
I think
just so cool.
I really like Bond, but he has like a mohawk, right? The
Yeah.
mohawk dude. I don't know, because he's like rough and tough, but he has such a soft side, and he's
Yeah,
a hard
that's-
worker.
That's your type of young Japanese boy.
You think rough and tough?
Yeah. You like the
I don't
you
know.
like the
Actually, my
delinquent.
type, like I'm saying like he's my favorite character. If I'm gonna marry someone from this anime, it would be Yukio. I like the nerds. I wouldn't
That's
marry Bond.
He is a certified crash out, and Yukio goes crazy for a little while.
See, I like him a little crazy.
Yeah. That might be your
I
man.
could help him. I could fix him. You know,
I don't think
be
so.
there. You don't think so?
Mm-mm. No, I don't think so. But
It's okay. It's good that what's it called? Yukio and Shiemi doesn't end up that way. I can still have him. My
yeah.
husband won't mind. I know he won't at all.
Yeah, I was reading it, catching up. I was like, wow, I really hope they like get together because like Shimi gets like really upset. We're not here to talk about this, but she like gets upset that he's the son of Satan and that he lied about it, and it's like a whole thing. And
Yeah, but
like she thinks he dies, he thinks she dies. It's rough.
That is rough. I would like I've thought about my husband dying, and I just am not okay. So I can only imagine like the loss, because then Ren has the feeling of the loss of his dad, and then the loss of
His brother,
yeah,
and then Shimi.
yeah. That's just too much.
It's brutal.
So I mean, other religious symbols. Since this is our last episode of the religion and fandom, they also mention like the Holy Grail and other. I feel like they literally just like, let's take a little bit of each like thing and just throw it into the anime.
Yeah, they do like the Christian like what does the Catholic Church call them? Vestiges, like Shroud of Turin, Holy Grail, that kind of thing. It's like that's cool. I like that. I like when properties incorporate that into their series.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else because I don't think they ever talk about like repenting or anything like that, which is a big Christian thing. I mean, obviously, it's always the battle between heaven and hell. That's the whole premise.
Yeah,
Fighting
so that's
demons.
what I was saying earlier. Like, it doesn't get really deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just weird to say. Like, yeah, the whole series is based around it, but it's not really that much about it. Yeah,
which is weird because it's I don't know. I enjoyed it. I love the plot. Like, even though we talked, I think we can't hit any more of like we covered all the religion aspect in this anime, but really it's just the character developments are great. The it catches your attention. I like that this anime is not dragged out. I think it does have 3 seasons of anime, but I've said it before. Once I kind of know the ending, I don't like side stories, so that's why I didn't really like the Kyoto arc. But I never finished the Illuminati arc in the anime, so now I think I just need to read the manga. But you said it's when is it projected to end? Do you know?
I don't know when it's projected to end. Just like reading it, I'm like, oh, this is like a few chapters away from an end.
Or maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe he could pull a Oda.
I kind of hope he doesn't.
Nah, he
Because
can
it's
only.
monthly.
Yeah.
That would be so much worse.
So, any other thoughts as wrap up this this episode about Blue Exorcist? What do you want the people to know? Well, I know we went through it so quickly, but there's just so much to get through.
Okay, Blue Exorcist did come out at a time where it was normal for the women in anime to be a little provocative, to trap young men into watching the shows. Just look past that for a minute. The show's really good, and Shura is also a great character. She just also has her boobs out.
Sure. You mean Shiemi or no? Someone else. Who's
Shura, the girl with like the...
Oh, that
yeah,
one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, because I don't think like that because I'm so used to boobs in anime. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about her.
Yeah, me too. All the time.
You're just used to boobs?
Yeah, I just always forget about it. I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah, like when you said like this is a fan grab, I'm like, oh yeah, it is a fan grab. My husband, he's like, sometimes he'll walk downstairs. He's like, are you supposed to be watching this? And it's usually like fan service geared towards men. I'm like, this does nothing for me. I'm fine. You're fine. I think my biggest takeaway with Blue Exorcist is you just have to like keep on developing. And so it's the relationships are my favorite part of this because it doesn't matter what your background is. Like you can always strive. You can always work to be better towards yourself and then always strive just to be like a good person. So even though Ren is the son of Satan, he is the most caring. He is like super thoughtful. He just wants to get along. Like he wants to celebrate people's birthdays and make sure everyone's having a good time. And he genuinely cares. So it doesn't even matter. Even when everyone was ostracizing him, like he never stopped trying to do his best and trying to communicate. So they know like he's not a danger. So I really appreciated that because you don't expect that from the son of Satan. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's nurture versus nature. Fantastic. I really honestly cannot stress enough how much you should read or watch Blue Exorcist. It's really good.
You should. So, I mean, if you like it that much, what would you rate it?
Probably like an 8. Like it is really fantastic.
See, I would probably do like a 7 just because I like it, but like it's not my genre. Like if this was, see, I think if I read the manga and I see the romance between Shiemi and Ren for myself, it would get higher because I just love to swoon like a little anime schoolgirl.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, so there you have it. That is our take on a Blue Exorcist as we are wrapping up. Make sure you guys check it out. If you enjoy this, check out the other episodes of our Religion and Fandom. And stay tuned for next year when we talk about polarization and we get to talk about things that we love and something that we might hate. Just finding the good in anything, kind of like what we do with Ren. We're finding the good in Ren, even though he is the spawn of Satan. So, once again, please review on whatever podcast choice platform that you enjoy, whether it's Spotify, Podchaser. Give us a review if you like it. If you didn't like it, give us a review so we can know to do better. Yeah. Just lie and give us, 5 stars?
No, give
maybe
us 0.
3. No, don't do that. That's mean.
Give me your worst.
Don't do that. Don't be mean.
I thrive on negativity.
I do not. I will cry. All right. But thank you again, Justin Vaughn, for supporting us. If you would like to join us and be a Patreon or Captivate supporter, you can do that. I'm not sure how you can do that because I forgot. But you can definitely do that. Just figure it out because you guys are really, really, really smart. So thank you again for listening. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
Hi, my name is TJ Blackwell, also known as Tejas, Tiberius Wan, Tejas Jackson, Kung Fu Dugong recently. I go by many, many names. And I came here today to ask you to please check out our YouTube channel. There are a bunch of exclusive series there, like Comic Book Ketchup, Manga Mustard, Drinks with Tejas, which is my personal favorite, the one where I get to talk to other people about their favorite drinks or just drinks in general. We have a companion series to our annual theme on YouTube. We do Friday Night Frights, Wednesday Night Weeaboo. Those are both ran by Christian Ashley. He's great. Check him out. There are exclusive shorts, which are pretty new. Christian reviews. He's going to review every Spider-Man comic one at a time, which is insane. Non-canon, which is where Joshua will be reviewing one IP from outside of canon in his favorite fandoms, or a piece of literature that is part of the biblical extra canonical material, which is a super interesting short series. Will's Wednesday pull list, where he talks about his comic book pull list each week. He picks a top comic for his weeklies. And there are other surprise bonus content. It goes straight to YouTube. And many of our regular podcast episodes get posted there as well, because we like to see each other when we talk, and we don't want to rob you of that ability. So check us out, like, subscribe. We would appreciate it so much, and it helps us a ton. Thank you.
Hello, friends. If you like systematic geekology, then there's a host of other podcasts in our network that we think you will like just as much. And so we're part of the Anazal Ministry Podcast Network, and we hope that you can hop over and subscribe with all the podcasts that are on our network. Like, for instance, The Homily, which is, Pastor Will Rose's sermon here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. You have another podcast called The Whole Church Podcast, the OG, the originals, the beginner of it all. Yes, Joshua, Noel, and TJ working for unity among the church and having great conversations with the wide spectrum of those who are involved in Christian ministry and the church. You have My Seminary Life by Brandon Knight, who's discussing what he's learning in seminary, he is learning his theological studies and bringing to the surface those big things that we're wrestling with and thinking through theologically in the church and beyond. There's the Let Nothing Move You podcast from Christian Ashley, who is walking through the Bible in a very Bible study type fashion and walking through the biblical narrative. You have Dummy for Theology. I don't think Joshua is a dummy, but he's going to lift up theological themes that he's thinking about and wrestling with. And maybe there's not a lot of answers, but there's definitely a lot of great questions out there that he's lifting up with some great theologians across the whole spectrum of Christianity. And then there's the Bible After Hours. Man, if you like to get risky, if you like to get controversial, there's this foul-mouthed preacher who goes through the Bible from a more progressive point of view, challenging the status quo of the modern church. Yeah, you don't want any kids around with that podcast. And then you have the Clydes, one of my favorite couples that I like to listen to. One of the hosts here on Systematic Geekology, Taylor and Elizabeth Clyde, go through weekly discussions and kind of a devotional, conversational method of what's going on in their lives, where they see God moving in their lives, and what God is up to in the world. So those are the podcasts, a part of the AMP network. Subscribe, follow. We hope you can be a part of all that great network with the wonderful podcasts at AMP.